Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. Finally going to get a little bit of bullishness out of me after all this bearish action. So since the bounce off of 6,000, we put in our series of higher lows here. And my last video we talked about Bitcoin starting to get stuck in a range, and we're still within that range. This doesn't mean that we're going to go, flying to the upside here, but it is looking very, very good right here for some tradable action. Now, the line on my chart here you're seeing is the outline of a cup with handle chart pattern. The cup with handle pattern is a continuation pattern. It leads to the upside. There's no bearish implications to a cup with handle pattern whatsoever. Obviously, not every pattern plays out. This one may not as well, but it's looking pretty good so far. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this little cup with handle drawing here. So I have a few lines on my chart here. What you're going to notice is in the cup in the handle, you usually have an early entry point and a traditional entry point. This line implies your early entry point at the 86.50 level, and this implies your traditional buy point at the 88.70 level. We're sitting right in between there right now, looking at a 2-hour chart of Bitcoin, an hour and 15 minutes into it. So we're about halfway through this bar, and our volume right now is average volume. Okay, average volume is 1.35 thousand Bitcoin. We're at 1.4 thousand Bitcoin. So we're sitting right now at average volume. And so far, if this holds and doesn't sell off into this particular bar, we could be in for some nice action here overnight. So looking pretty good so far. If you're in your early entry right here, congratulations. Otherwise, I would probably wait for this traditional buy point, or if we pulled back on lower volume to this early entry point, again, 86.50 I have here, then maybe you can take a position there and put your stops down accordingly with your trading strategy. Now, taking a look at some other cryptos, we have Ethereum actually trying to break out, and Ethereum has actually a symmetrical triangle pattern that it's been forming, and it has broken out of that symmetrical triangle pattern. Volume, again, about halfway through a 2-hour bar here, and we're already a little over average volume, and the previous two 2-hour bars have also had really good volume with good price action. Very solid green candles, almost no wicks on any of these candles so far. So that's very good. As we know, as of recently, Ethereum has been stronger than Bitcoin during the rallies. So, I would anticipate maybe Ethereum doing a move. I do have a line here. This line you see on my chart going up here to this prior high in Ethereum about 1200 level. This is actually drawn based on a measured move scenario. If you take this low, I have such a hard time drawing these things straight. If you take this low to this high and then you take that move and you move it up, so you can do it one of two ways. You can actually take it off with a low here, which would actually put us down at 1114, or you can do it from the breakout point. Both are valid. It's hard to know exactly which one's going to work out. I actually usually find that the more conservative approach leaves you with a little less to be desired. But anyway, I'm putting it up here because I'm kind of liking this chart. So we get this target here to the upside, which is a pretty nice target. Even if you drop this down to here, it's still a pretty nice target. You're looking at a potential 28% bounce to the upside here in Ethereum. And as we know, Ethereum has been more bullish than Bitcoin, so it does stand to reason we could possibly break upward of this particular trend line in Ethereum. So going on to Litecoin. Litecoin actually is already broken out. We're talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum possibly breaking out. You're looking at Litecoin actually doing that already. Very good volume in Litecoin here. Obviously, there is some selling here, but generally it's very, very good. Now, another one that's already broken out is OMG. Let's take a look at OMG versus Bitcoin here on Bittrex on the 2-hour. Excuse me, we do have very good volume coming in here on OMG. Look for some kind of a flag or some kind of a consolidation up here before you get involved. You never want to buy these once they've already spiked up. You want to buy off of some kind of base and continuation. And that's what I would look for here in OMG. But if Bitcoin can rally, then I wouldn't. This OMG pattern may not play out nearly as strongly as you would anticipate. because recently here, Bitcoin hasn't really been rallying, so it gives this chart room to run. If you look at OMG versus the dollar, it has a lot more upside to go potentially. So about almost a double into all-time highs for OMG. We do have a higher high in place, as well as a pretty good volume signature. Look at all these green volume flurries. Definitely a bit of a change in behavior versus these red volume flurries over here, at least for OMG. If you're new to the crypto space, you may not actually know much about OMG, but if you've been in it for a while, this was the darling of the crypto community probably for about 5, 6, 7 months, and kind of lost favor when it stopped paying. And that's kind of how markets work. When they don't make you any money, everyone forgets about them. So OMG has been forgotten about maybe for too long. Came all the way back down to $7. That is crazy for OMG. $14 here is a pretty good price, I think, for OMG. And anyway, from a long-term perspective, definitely could be a place where you may want to take a position. And looking at that longer-term trend line, we did break this, similar to Litecoin. Similar pattern to Litecoin, if you notice that there. All right, so those are the ones I'm looking at right now. Looking at OMG. Was looking at our chain a little bit ago. Also was looking at, there was one more. I think it was Stellar Lumens. Actually, I think it was Stellar Lumens. Looking at Stellar Lumens in a very, very nice, large symmetrical triangle pattern. I really would like for this to play out. Sometimes these do. In cryptos, they kind of tend to get chopped out, though. I think everyone sees it and people sell into the perceived strength. But one thing about this particular pattern, look at the volume just get decidedly smaller and smaller and smaller. And you have a series of lower highs and higher lows putting in this symmetrical pattern. So in time, I would anticipate this being broken to the upside. Looking at the coin market cap for Stellar, it's sitting here just under 8 billion. You know, definitely does have some room to run. As we know, we've seen Cardano up at $30 billion. And Stellar is actually a functional blockchain. IBM uses Stellar. So you could anticipate this being, well, it is a high quality coin, but you can anticipate it actually moving based on the fact that the network's being used. So anyway, guys, that's getting a little bit out of the technical analysis realm right there. But very nice pattern right here. I like this pattern very, very much. But overall, we're starting to see a little bit of life in the markets. I don't know if you go all in at this particular point in time, but you want to wait for this cup with handle to potentially break out right here. And if it does, then I say you can be aggressive with some trading, but you still need to have your stop losses in place. You still need to know when you're going to get out of a trade and what is going to negate your trade for you. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. A little bit of bullishness in the market, a little bit of a tone change for me. I know as of recent, I've been, people call me negative. People say I've been, sounding mean, not happy or something like that. I haven't been happy because, like everyone else, I do want a bull market, but I do have to live with the reality. And I'm not going to put on a face just for your entertainment, because if I just try to entertain you guys, I'm going to cost you money. And as a kind of a crypto YouTuber, if I lose you money, then you're probably not going to come back. So my tone will be good when the market calls for it, and bad when it calls for it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate the time, and I will see you guys next time.